Hi, Sean here again for blog post number 2. So the blog that I decided to look at for this post was identifying and analyzing using my work experience the uses of innovative technology in the classroom. What outcomes are we looking for from it? One of the biggest things is, as I read through Planning for Technology, the Whitehead, Jensen, and Bosch book here, the biggest thing that I took from that was we often get caught up on technology, not thinking about our student needs. And our students' needs is the number one driving force for technology. And I think what I mean by that is I think about my experience of being in 2 different schools and pushing that technology, right? We're trying to get the grants, trying to get money for that. And we're trying to tell the public, like, oh, look at all these amazing ways we're using our technology, but we're not stopping to think about how is it actually helping our students? Is it closing any achievement gaps? Are we trying to help our minority students who often lag behind in education? Are we trying to help our students with learning disabilities? And I think we have this idea of like, oh yeah, it's gonna help, but we never stop to think about how is it gonna help? And for an example, from my work experience, I was thinking about at my first school when we initiated a one-to-one iPad program. So the idea was all the students would have an iPad, the teachers, and we would use it every day in class. So before the summer broke out for that year, they passed out iPads to all the teachers. They said, here, take this iPad, take it home over the summer, use it, and when you come back in the fall, plan on using it in your classroom. Well, summer goes, fall comes, and about half the teachers use it, the other half don't. Those who feel good with technology and understand it, they all looked at it. Teachers who didn't feel comfortable with it never picked it up to even look at it. They were like stunned by it. And one of the big things that came from that was then there was no goals or outcomes or expectations for the teachers other than you were supposed to use it. And as you look at in the reading here for Planning for Technology, one of the biggest things is, what is the goal? What's the outcome? Why are you doing this technology? Again, going back to our student needs, and it wasn't addressed. And it took almost 2 years for it to be addressed, for us to finally realize that many of our teachers didn't feel comfortable with it. And what do we need to do? And then that came to the idea of, well, what about professional development and helping our teachers learn how to use it? In other words, what case can you use this innovative technology in the classroom to help our students? And some of those different ways that we came up with was our text-to-speech and our speech-to-text. So in the old school where I taught, I was special ed for 9 years, and many of my students had speech and language impairments. And looking at such as the text-to-speech programs, which you can run on your phones, you can run on iPads, you can run on a computer, that text-to-speech allows those students who struggle with reading, such as a lot of my dyslexic students, to suddenly comprehend text that they couldn't have comprehended at their own. In other words, where their reading level was with their fluency and where their comprehension was 2 different areas. And suddenly now that achievement gap is closed. They're understanding books that are at their level and getting those meanings that they couldn't have got if they were trying to read it on their own. And vice versa with the speech-to-text. Suddenly now where they couldn't write all that out to them, they could tell you orally everything, but then when they wrote it, it didn't match up to what their understanding was. Suddenly now they can talk to it, they can say it to, a device like this phone that I'm currently recording on, and all of it's getting written down for them. And suddenly now they're able to communicate in such a better way. There's so many other technologies. I was thinking of like the phonic ear that I often use even now in my classroom, that I had in my old classroom, that allows students who have difficulty hearing, such as myself, who has hearing loss. It gives you that ability to listen around to all the different areas. So again, innovative technology, biggest thing is, how does it help my students? In other words, what is it doing for my students? And it doesn't matter if it looks good. I get it, we're trying to get the money, but it's all about our student needs.